Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mina and I'll be doing a voiceover today. So today I decided to sit down and do some little studies of this daffodil. My daughter found this daffodil as we were walking home the other day and someone had picked it obviously and it had fallen on the side of the street. So we brought it home and I thought I would do some little study paintings of it. I've always heard that painting from life is a really good thing to do, and I haven't had a lot of opportunity to do that because we don't tend to buy cut flowers very often because one of my cats always tries to eat them. So we don't often have fresh flowers and plants in the house because of him, unfortunately. So I thought I'd take this opportunity and do that. So what you see me doing here is I'm actually using my Winsor & Newton professional watercolours. I've added some extra colours to this palette from when I first got it, but all the colours in the palette are Winsor & Newton professionals. I'm mostly using yellows and some greens. So the yellows I'm using are Winsor Lemon, Winsor Yellow, and I think I also used some quinacridone gold and new gamboge for like the centre. Then I mainly used olive green mixed with whatever green was already in my palette for the stems. And I think I also used a little bit of green gold in the centre of some of the daffodils as well. So those are the paints that I'm using. I will try and remember to list them in the description box below, but if I forget, feel free to leave a comment and I will try and add those. But as you can see, I'm sort of just turning the flower into different directions, different angles, and just trying to paint what I see. And I personally like painting fairly loose and abstract, so that's kind of why I keep the lines fairly loose. Not trying to be too realistic but more representative of what I'm painting, and yeah, just having fun with it. It was a really fun experience painting this. But I thought whilst we're watching me paint these flowers, I would talk to you guys a little bit about my reasons why I started this channel to begin with. So some of you may be here because you know me from my other channel. I am mainly a knitter and knitwear designer, and I have a knitting YouTube channel, and that's kind of how I got started in YouTube. And sometime last year, about pretty much exactly a year ago, around March 2020, I picked up watercolours for the first time. My first watercolour set, which I'll probably do a video about at some point as well, was a Mother's Day gift from my daughter, and yeah, and that's kind of how I got started and I got hooked, and I've loved it ever since, and I've been progressing and building my collection and collecting supplies. I love collecting art supplies, so I do have a fair collection by this point. And yeah, and with my knitting as well, when I first started, I started my knitting channel, my knitting podcast, video podcast, exactly a year after I started knitting. So I thought, what would be better than starting my watercolour channel than, you know, a year after I started watercolours, like I did with my knitting as well. So my knitting channel is a little bit different. It's more of a video podcast where I sit down and chat with you, but I also share other videos on there as well. Sorry, my voice is going a little bit hoarse. But with this channel, what I really plan on doing is sharing some process videos like this, experiments. I'm still in the learning phase with watercolours, sharing experiments and my learning processes, reviewing products, you know, palette setups and some colour theory stuff, like all sorts of different things. Lots of fun stuff, maybe even a few vlogs in there as well. And yeah, I just really wanted to use this space to share a bit more about my art journey. And that's kind of how I treated my knitting channel initially. When I first started, I was, you know, a year into knitting. Had a lot of self-doubt about what I could bring to the community, what could I add that, you know, other more experienced knitters and fibre creatives weren't already doing in that area. But I found actually people did like hearing from people who were new to the craft as well, and sharing different experiences and different viewpoints compared to people who are more experienced. And so that's kind of what I hope to bring to this channel, is to share my journey as I'm getting into watercolours, and hopefully sharing my progress and sharing what works for me, what doesn't work for me, what I'm learning, and hopefully there will be some progression over the years, over time, and hopefully I will improve as well, and my art will improve and my skills will improve. And I'm all about sharing the process and sharing the good, the bad and the ugly. So not everything you see on this channel is going to be picture perfect. It's going to be super beautiful and all of that. I actually really like how this spread turned out, going back to what I'm actually painting at the moment. It was really fun. It's not perfect. It is not, you know, some of my colour values aren't exactly right. I didn't necessarily get the outer petals as light as I should have on some of the flowers, and so the middle section didn't turn out dark enough on some of them, and so the contrast wasn't necessarily there. But I learned a lot by doing this, and I really love how some of the specific florals turned out compared to others. So it was a great, really good fun, and I do plan on doing this again at some point. So so yeah, oh, so I guess I should probably tell you what paper I used. The paper I used for this one is a block of Hahnemühle or Hahnemühle Expression watercolor. So it's a cold press 100% cotton watercolor block, and it's really affordable actually. I got mine from a website called Society for All Artists, or SSA. They're here in the UK. I think they also sell some stuff on Amazon, but it's very affordable watercolor paper from them. It comes with 20 sheets in a block. It's not my favorite cotton watercolor paper, but it's great for practices and these sort of sketches, and I only have a couple of sheets left in this block, so it's almost used up. I have a ton of watercolor paper in my stash. At some point I think I will share, do a bit of like a studio tour thing once my studio is a little bit more set up. It's a bit of a state right now, but yeah, so do let me know if you have any questions for me in the comment section below this video. Like I said, I gave a little brief introduction to my start in watercolor, my reasons for wanting to start this channel, but if you have any more specific questions for me, please let me know and I'll try and answer those questions in an upcoming video. I have lots of ideas for different videos that I want to do that will be coming soon. I have a few palette setup videos. I have some new watercolors that I've received or purchased recently that have arrived that I want to do like a palette setup and swatching videos for, and some other supplies I want to try out in conjunction with watercolors. So yeah, do let me know if you have any questions about anything that I talk about. Other than that, yeah, we're almost finished with this painting, and then there's going to be some little close-ups at the end. So thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed what you see today, please do like this video, subscribe, leave me a comment. If you subscribe, then you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Please do leave me a comment. I would love to chat with you guys in the comment section and hear what you think about this. Alright, and here are some close-ups of the finished painting. Like I said, I really love how some of these florals turned out. The one with the flower on its side facing up, and that's my paint palette, is one of my favourites. The one with the stem poking out to the left. I really like how that one turned out. Alright, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you guys again soon. Bye!